Hey there, Super Friends. It's Joey with Last Point Gaming. Today is Wednesday, October 30th, 2019. How y'all doing? So, Standard is such a shit show that SCG announced today that, you know what, we're not even playing Standard in the Invitational coming up. Now they have decided to change that to Pioneer. Now, to be fair, I'm not really sure that Oko is not the most busted thing you can be doing in Pioneer anyway. But based on the little bit I've got to tune into things, doesn't look like it has the stranglehold on Pioneer that it does on Standard. I did start listening to Ross and Tannen's episode today. You know, it's almost 3 hours long. That's what happens when you go through every deck in the deck dump. So I am definitely interested to check out more of that, listen to more of what they have to say about it. I have a suspicion their podcast is about to get very popular. Personally, I'm starting to look into if I want to join one of the card rental services and just suck it up and pay for my entertainment and go play on Moto for a while. You know, I'm real excited about Pioneer. It's not likely I'm going to get much of a chance to play it at the shop. They're talking about making like Wednesday's Pioneer night. I can't get out there during the week, so makes me make a sad face. So if I want to get to play in this format, I'm probably going to have to do it on MTGO, because we decided that we're not going to put it on Arena, the flagship product. Which, I mean, I do kind of understand. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of coding involved, and even if you can go in Moto and look at the old logic, depending on what framework that was built on versus what framework Arena's built on, you know, stuff may not translate, I guess. We're going to pretend that's how programming works. Honestly, though, there may be dependencies and just all kinds of other issues. Man, now I'm sitting here trying to think of how you'd put that database together. Because that almost has to be where they store... Well, no, not almost. That has to be how they store individual cards. What would you do? Like, generic mana, white, blue, black, red, green, waste all have their own separate columns. Card name... Man, that actually must be a real bitch to manage. Come to think of it, with all like different effects and text boxes, not everything has its, you know, has keywords. Do they make up keywords? Whoa. Yeah, this makes my head hurt to think about it, so we're just gonna move on. It's been a long day. Anyway. So yeah, there's no Pioneer in Arena. Historic's not deep enough for Oko to not be a problem there, I'm sure. So, I don't know. I'm starting to contemplate it. I have a Moto account. I just, you know, used it to do some drafts a couple of years ago, and then it just kind of sits there. So yeah, I'm thinking about it. Or, apparently, Xbox is running some kind of deal where I can get the Game Pass for $1 and I can check out that Outer Worlds game. Husband's really trying to convince me that I want to play that so that him and I can play it together. So, I don't know. But, yeah, Standard's a mess. It's going to continue to be a mess for a couple weeks. I full well suspect that Oko's going to get banned after the MC coming up. I was probably a bit hasty in calling for it to be banned in all formats. I'm just tired of losing to it on Arena. My track record isn't even that terrible against it. It's just always such an obnoxious match. Like, the whole thing just pisses me off the whole time. But they can't do anything about it before the Mythic Championship, and there are people that are upset that SCG announced today that the format for the Invitational that's in like 3 weeks is switching to Pioneer. You know, because, I just dropped a whole bunch of money on this deck. Chances are Oko's going to be banned before the Invitational anyway, so you were boned either way there, friend. Also, this is... Now, they haven't banned him yet, so they could surprise me and not ban him. But this is a good cautionary tale for why you don't buy into the, $100 standard card for standard. I mean, Modern, I don't foresee a ban on him in Modern unless this Warzoko deck manages to keep a stranglehold. Even there, they're probably not going to go for Oko. Modern has a good amount of answers that Standard does not, and that Pioneer doesn't. Death Shadow just kind of batted these guys around. Oh, that was some really great Magic to watch. I kind of hope Death Shadow gets its ass kicked at the next couple events, though, because I want to play Death Shadow, and now it's gotten, insanely expensive. Though, to be fair, all the cards I need for Death Shadow are always insanely expensive. It looks like I might need a Snapcaster Mage. Gross. Some Engineered Explosives. Gross. I do have the Scalding Tarn, and I'm not going to bother with Misty Rainforest. Grixis Shadow doesn't run green. Therefore, you don't need the green side of it. And I have 4 Scalding Tarns. And the list from Atlanta, that's where it was 1 Scalding Tarn, 2 Misty Rainforest. So I'm just going to run 3 Scalding Tarns. And then, I won't have fetches of useless colors. I'm assuming the Misty Rainforests were because he had them on hand, and Scalding Tarns are still, disgustingly expensive. I don't know, though. So, yeah, even if the deck gets stomped around a bunch, it's probably not going to change my bottom line on it very much. I did see... So, last Friday, I was like, oh god, I'm so tired of playing Burn, because Boo stole my Humans deck. The things we do for love, Let our kids have our awesome freaking Modern deck. And, it's time I branch out a little bit. Now, Death Shadow is kind of a different kind of game. That's what had me kind of excited about it. So I looked it up on MTG Goldfish, and the list I was looking at had a Leyline of Sanctity in the sideboard, but only 1. I don't like that. I'd rather have a Witchbane Orb. Because I know me. And we're going to end up in the situation where I'm like, okay, I have, so many outs left in my deck. Especially when it's the situation where it's even a land's good, because it enables me to cast this thing. So, anything's a hit. And it's well, here's the 1 Leyline of Sanctity that you didn't mull to because your opening hand was pretty good. So, yeah, everything but this was a hit. Yeah, great. Great. That's awesome. I'm not a fan. It's like there were humans players that were putting Leyline of the Void in the sideboard. Now, at least they were committing to it. They were running 4. Which, if you want to have it in the opener, is the way to go. Nobody likes playing turn 7 Aether Vial. You run 4 of them to increase your chances of having it in the opening draw. And to be fair, decks that were running Leyline of the Void were also running Seasoned Pyromancer, like they were testing that card out. So you at least have something to do with it if you draw it later. You can discard it to that thing, and that does something. I don't remember what. I don't know. It's time to branch into something else. I was looking at Death Shadow or possibly Storm, because I'm intrigued by Storm. It seems like a neat deck. So, if that deck's now the cheaper one, I don't know. Maybe I'll look at that one. But, in any case, yeah, Standard is just one raging dumpster fire right now. Which has been nice. I've been reading more and tuning into streams more because I don't want to play Arena. No, it's just, like, I'm so tired of playing the match. It's not even like the win-lose, it's just playing the same match over and over again. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, getting your ass kicked by it consistently sucks too, but... So I was going to try to avoid talking about it, but we're only like halfway home, and... Fuck rapists, okay? And abusers. And people who protect them. This shit of, oh, well, I'm just going to be mad at the rapist. And I'm going to keep my anger where it's deserved. No, because really, anybody that kept it quiet, that knew about it and did nothing, you just aided and abetted them doing it again. Like, let's shift this to a context that people actually care about. If you see somebody kick their dog, and you also see that same person trying to adopt another dog, you know, there was like a shit ton of Twitch outrage because this girl, I don't even know who she is, like, flung her cat over her shoulder. That sounds a little more violent than it was, but like, the cat was in the way, and she picked him up and kind of pushed him over her shoulder, and he hit the floor. Cats land on their feet, but, I mean, still a shitty thing to do. And, like, the internet freaked the fuck out. And reported her to, you know, animal welfare agencies and shit. And yet we have this problem in the Magic community. Where it's like, well, I can't be mad at people associated with this person that kept their fucking mouth shut. No, you quite can. And the whole like, oh yeah, it was like the worst kept secret. Then why are you keeping it? Don't keep it a secret. This is of course all in reference to Lindsay from Hurly Burly Altars. Put out a blog post today about Rudy. I have no fucking clue how you say that guy's last name. About, you know, abuse and sexual assault she suffered from this guy. And apparently she talked to people in Team Nova, you know, made them aware, and people chose to, like, ride out the season with them. She's waited until the end of the SCG season to say something so as not to cause problems for these other players. And that's mighty nice of her. But protecting people who protected this douchebag is would not be my top priority. It's like, I'm still, I'm still pissed off at, you know, the stuff with, like, Reed Duke and, oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot the guy's name, Huey Jensen. And them sticking with Turtenwald, knowing this shit was going on. Like, come on. I mean, Epidemic's like my best friend in the world. But you can bet I'd flip my shit on the dude if he was involved in an assault. Like, it's just so fucked up. You know, don't protect this shit. This isn't like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to ruin their life. No, ruin their fucking life. They ruined somebody else's. Like, you don't get how that shit sticks with you. And like, sexual assault is just a mind-blowing crime in that you can have absolutely irrefutable evidence that the act occurred, and you still have to prove it was a crime. You know, it's not like when a store gets robbed and they're like, well, you know, how many free samples do you give out? Are you sure you didn't just tell that person that they could come and take your shit? No, you didn't. Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't tell them they could have it and now you regret that? No, nobody fucking asked that shit. They're like, oh, so you were robbed. Alright, let's do something about that. But no, not sexual assault. It's, I don't know, they could like it that way. Like, no. And, like, when it's at the hands of an intimate partner, that's just even worse. Because of this fucking archaic notion that it's not assault if it's your wife. Fuck that shit. It's still assault. Entering into a relationship with somebody does not give them autonomy over your body. And honestly, I would think that it would be more damaging in that context. You know, it takes a real long time before you can trust anybody again. Before you cannot see everybody you're involved with as a potential predator. And it takes one fucking patient person to stick with you while you get through that distrust and wariness. No, shit's fucked up, yo. And it really sucks. Like, I adore Drake Sasser. But to think that he knew about this and just kind of hung out with Team Nova and didn't say anything because he didn't want it to negatively impact him. Or, I guess, Jess Estefan announced at some point, and I vaguely remember seeing it. I, like, went back through her tweets on her profile, seeing if I could find the date. I vaguely remember her announcing that she was leaving Nova. So props to her for being like, and we're done here. And in a community like this, like, I don't know if Lindsay really plays much or anything, but she, you know, generates income from working in the magic community, from being at events and selling her artwork. So in a, like, niche community like this, you know, the magic community is pretty large, relatively, but we're still kind of a niche community. To have to constantly run into that, to, you know, decide if you're going to dramatically alter your life, you know, basically be further punished, or, you know, deal with the stress and anxiety of having to interact with this fuckhead. we must be getting to the point where Todd Stevens' suspension must be coming up. You know me, with time, it's pretty slippery, but it feels like it's been a while. And he was only suspended from the series for 3 years. And I kind of wonder if he's going to come back. I mean, I get it. It's like, it's hard to hear this shit. It's hard to accept that somebody that you like and admire or that you're friends with is such a fucking shitbag. But this isn't like failing to point out that your opponent failed to pay for their pact. This isn't fucking antelopes in the savannah and you're a documentary person. God, I fucked that one up. Like, this is people's lives, and I don't think anybody who hasn't been there understands how fucking damaging that shit is. And it stays with you. It never really leaves. It's a scar that's always there. And we want to act like it's, oh no, it's a misunderstanding, or, well, they've changed. I think I went over all this before. If you needed somebody to explain to you that forcible intercourse was wrong, I'm going to just go ahead and write you off and not have any hope for you whatsoever as a human being. If you needed that shit explained to you so that you could grow and evolve and change, no. That whole human is a mess. Okay, you know, your car costs like 5 times what mine does, buddy. You sure you want to take that track? I also have incredibly good insurance. But in any case, yeah, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I don't know, it's fucking bugging me. And like, I'm not trying to come down. I don't even remember who I saw, you know, with the tweet thread about, well, I'm going to keep my anger, you know, where it belongs, on the person who did the thing. No, it belongs on anybody who was a party to this shit, you know, who knew about it and was silent. Evil prevails when good people do nothing. Bystander effect is a hell of a thing. So this is just my semi-annual renewal of the, if you know this shit is happening, say something. The only time that I personally find it acceptable to sit on something like this and keep your mouth shut is if you have a significant concern you're going to out a victim who's not ready to face it. If there is no way you can do anything about this without potentially outing that victim. But if you do it to preserve your spot in a fucking game, or to protect your friend who is the assailant, oh, fuck you. You're worthless to me too. Because again, you may not have partook in the act, but you're allowing them to continue. You're allowing them to find new victims. You're allowing them to continue to ruin other people's lives by sitting there and keeping your mouth shut. So you know what? lastpointgaming@gmail.com. @StrangerSparrow on Twitter. Always open. You're afraid for catching flack for saying something? Send it to me. I'll fucking say something. Because this shit needs to stop. To me, this isn't about protecting the non-males of magic. Because really anybody can be a victim of sexual assault or sexual violence or domestic violence. It doesn't discriminate. It's not only a, woman problem. It does seem to occur at a disproportionately higher rate to women. But that's based on statistics of things that are actually reported, which both those statistics are horribly skewed because people in these positions tend to not report it. See what Mary Loke goes through on the daily anymore, since being outspoken about what happened to her and what happened to the target of Owen Turtenwald. That's why more people don't go public with these allegations, and in some ways it is worse for men. Especially if the violence happened or was perpetrated by a woman, because, everything about them is called into question, including their masculinity. But it's a shitty and traumatic event for anybody that experiences it. So if you know of something happening and you're afraid to say something, you let me know. I'll say things. I will say all the things. Because it's time to stop letting this shit be open secrets. It doesn't need to be a secret of any kind. Now, to people who have been victimized, I understand, not being able to face it. And you don't owe anybody anything. Your first priority needs to be taking care of you and getting yourself through it and getting the help you need to get through it. But if you've seen something, say something. My God, stop letting this happen. Stop turning a blind eye to it and telling yourself that, well, you're okay because you're not the one who hurt somebody. Because it's that mentality that allowed them to get hurt. It's that mentality that's caused other people in the past to not say something, to not make this issue known. So, that's what I got to say on it. This shit pisses me off so much. And to the shitbag that decided to comment on her post about it, about how it seems like she doesn't want closure, she wants him to be punished. Oh, fuck you. She shared her experience, she put it out there, and from what she said, her therapist thought it would be a good exercise for her to come to grips with things and get some closure. But, you can just fuck right on off. Whether she wants it or not, douchebag should be punished. He should be outed. Everybody should know that he is a predator and he's a threat. And if that offends you, cool. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. There are a lot of things that I can say, well, we can have a discussion about it and we can try to see each other's viewpoints, not this one. So, that's all I got to say. As always, if y'all made it this far with me, thank you very much for listening. And hopefully I'll talk to y'all on Friday.